and welcome to the Resilience Reset. The sun is glowing. Look at this. It's so awesome. I just actually did a little run walk. I had to get my first 45-minute workout in outdoors because I'm doing 75 hard challenge, and I just did that. So if I like have sweat pouring off of me, there you go. But I took this photo and I want to show you how I don't know how to move it out of my face. I'm here. Uh, the Look at Lake Erie. Oh my God, it's just so beautiful. And you know what the thing is I, like we can take this stuff for granted, right? Like I grew up here, and I never really understood the beauty of Lake Erie and the peacefulness of this area. And now that I'm here, I just am so grateful. And it's available to each and every one of us to, like, talk about a lift up and a reset each day, to go out and just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, sorry you can't see it. I can see it. It's right out there. Anyway, so that was my last 45 minutes until I came here, and I was going to close the curtains, and I thought, you know what? Let's let the sun shine. Let's just let it shine in on me. If it gets irritating, let me know. Today's day, you know what that means? It's Wildcard Wednesday, right, Jen? Thank you. Yeah, it really is quite beautiful. So thanks for joining in that for me. I saw a meme the other day that said, my friends are the ones who will, or somebody who will stop mid sentence to like admire the sunset, or, like do something. I'm like, oh my God, that's so me. That's so me. I'll be like, da 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 da. Look at the beauty and the wonderment. Anyway, okay, so if that is irritating with all the sun on my face, I will shut the curtains. But if not, why? They're blinds, actually. Maybe I should, because I look there. Let's do this. Can't really see me. Okay, so this is Wildcard Wednesday, which means we don't know what topic is going to be. And so I am going to play the Russian roulette game with my book. Let's find something to talk about right here. Whatever's there. Look, it's got something highlighted. Less snow equals better solutions. It's about solution activation. Personal growth is not a linear experience. Okay, great. Let's do it. We're going to riff on this for a little bit. Happy to be catching you today, not from behind the wheel. Good. So that means you can comment and be a part of the conversation today, which is awesome. You know what, Greg? I think you missed the pictures from how beautiful it is today. I'm going to show it again because we've got more people on now. Look at that. That was just the walk that I was on. It's great. All right. So, wild card topic, less snow equals better solutions. And you might be like, Allison, I don't even know what that means. Well, if you haven't read the book, you won't know what it means. If you haven't heard me speak, you won't know what it means, but you will by the end of this little riff. Okay. So, the ice cube that became the snowman is one of my favorite analogies that I share in every one of my speeches. Well, not everyone, but most of my speeches. And it's a way of thinking about life, about stress, about what's actually causing the challenges in our lives. And so it goes like this. Imagine that every task that you have to do, an obstacle that you have to solve as an ice cube. And your job is to melt the ice cubes. And as efficiently and effectively as you could possibly melt those ice cubes each day, the better, right? Like once you've done that, you can get on with your day, and you have room and personal capacity left over to do whatever you want to do, whether it's self-care or hang out with friends or have some fun or, dive into a project, etc. And melting ice cubes in our jobs is generally not that hard. Okay, so maybe our obstacles, we have to solve them or we have to learn a new task, but the ice cubes themselves, man, we just got to get them done. But as part of the human experience, we don't just melt ice cubes. No, no. Instead, we also get access to, at all times, a mound of snow that hangs out beside us. And this mound of snow is represented by misplaced emotion, negative storylines, and barriers to performance like worry, judgment, procrastination, so many of the topics that we talk about in the show, right? Not setting boundaries, allowing frequent interruptions, gossiping. I mean, there's so many of them. 31. Micromanaging, pessimism, being past focused, defensive, territorial marketing, like all these things that can creep into our human experience. And there's no judgment around this. It just is part of how we show up in our lives, right? And so what ends up happening is we take those ice cubes that need to be melted and we put them in a little snow. We get some misplaced emotion. Maybe we're upset about this, and then we take it on out over on this, or we are um, we add in the negative storyline like, oh, I don't want to do this, or this is idiots, or what's wrong with my colleagues? Why didn't they do this? Why am I having to always pick up the slack, right? So we add that on. And now we've got like, two pieces of the snowman, but the ice cube's still in the middle. And then we add in those barriers to performance. So we worry about it, or we procrastinate on it, or we don't want to, you know, do it, or we want to like, there's just so many pieces of the puzzle. So then we end up at the bottom of the snowman. So now we have to still melt the ice cube, but it's encapsulated in all the snow. And that's harder to melt. So when you think about your capacity, so each of us on a day-to-day basis only has so much that we can give, right? We can think, we can feel, we can be, we can do. There's a finite amount of energy, a finite amount of time, of resources that for us to be able to think, feel, do, be. And so when we allow things that are ice cubes to be clouded and catastrophized, or even just not even catastrophized, just made harder because we add on all of that snow, then we are actually like making our lives harder than it needs to be. And see, it's the snow that causes the destructive stress because the tasks themselves, the melting of the ice cubes, not hard, not hard. And it's all the other stuff around it. And so when I opened up this particular uh, book, and where we ended up today on solution activation and the principle that less snow equals better solutions, let me find it right here. Okay, that is what I'm talking about. So if we, as part of our personal and professional development journey, can like interrupt the patterns that are packing the snow around the ice cubes, then we can actually free up a lot of our capacity in our day to day. So, for example, I used to be a really big worrier, and now I'm like, I choose not to worry. And it's not that I just went, oh, I'm never going to worry again. It's that I like worked through the problem solving framework to create different ways in order to minimize my habit of worrying. And when you subtract that from your life, all those hours and hours and hours that were spent worrying, you get them back. And then you can choose what you're going to do with that time. It's like, that's it. So that's the principle. Less snow equals better solutions. Now, I don't know about you, but can you think of some snow in your life or times when you're adding snow in unnecessarily? Hmm, really impressive if you can. All right. So, what else is on this one little page that I flipped to? Personal growth is not a linear experience. Remind yourself of that. Embrace the ups and downs. Dips don't mean that you're failing, they mean you're growing. And I think when we think about the less snow piece, right? So we have all these pieces. So how can I stop placing misplaced emotion on things? This was a huge thing for me for a really long time. And I still have to unpack it quite routinely. So like the other day, I was like saying to a friend of mine, I'm like, I'm really feisty. I'm feeling a little crabby. I don't know what's going on. And it was like, because and then I went to class and to yoga, and it finally hit me. I'm like, oh, right, it's misplaced emotion on this thing that I was allowing and not even recognizing was clouding how I was showing up for other things. Right? And this happens. It's part of our experience. And so this is very much something that, I could have been like judging myself going, "Oh my God, Allison, like you teach this stuff. What's wrong with you? How are you caught up in a misplaced emotion scenario where you're being irritated about just life and things and feeling really crabby when it was really about this one particular situation and you know, issue with a little bit of a negative storyline added in, if I'm honest, and a little past focused barrier to performance on that particular situation. But you know what? When we get compassionately curious with ourselves and we can just be like, isn't that interesting? Hey, I'm feeling like this and I don't know why. And so I'm going to sit with it a little bit, going to unpack it and then figure it out. Right. So that's my thinking for today. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts or questions you want to throw in the chat box. I know we've got some people watching from different places. We've got LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. So hard for me to tell where people are from, but you're welcome by all means to throw it in the chat box. If not, I think that's it for today. I think that is my thinking, my riffing. But the key is that if you want to make your life easier, look to the snow. Because within the snow is where the destructive stresses, the anxiety, the pieces of the puzzle that we need to unpack and slowly over time continue to develop in our thinking and our feeling and our way of existence so that we can get less snow into our lives. And when we do that, then we can also solve problems faster. We can be more effective, more productive, like all the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. So there we go. That is today's riff on the resilience reset. I hope you've had a beautiful day. You know what? Before I go, I'm going to show you this graphic one more time, just because I think it's so incredibly beautiful. That's what's happening out there in nature today, my friends. Anyway, I hope until tomorrow, when I see you Thursday. Oh, we're doing a book review. What book are we reviewing? It's this one. Hold on. I got books. I don't think we've done this one, have we? Shoot, I don't think so. Okay, let me see. Oh, here, hold on. Greg's got a question. Would you agree that a grounding exercise built into the start of one's workday is a good approach to start the thaw? Absolutely. And not only at the beginning of the workday, I think throughout the workday, in little bits when it comes in and then like because when I find the snow comes into our lives the most is when we are in the middle of something, right? Like it's really easy to be without the snow when we're meditating, when we're in quiet time, when everything is going great, when we're not in the hustle. Get into a traffic jam when you're late for a meeting, and that's when the snow will come up and show ourselves. So yes, how we start our day can often influence how the day goes, although I do believe we can reset a day at any moment. I digress. And so I love that idea because it sets your intention and reminding yourself of each and every day I am going to show up and be so in the present moment of feeling whatever it is that's happening in that moment, then we can create less snow. Yeah. I think it's great for people who have really good morning routines who can set their day up straight. Anybody else noticing these new glasses? Again, another pair of new glasses trying to get these lenses right. I don't think they put the anti-reflection coating on. Do you? Look at me. I'm like, I have blue eyeshadow on. I don't even have anything blue in front of me. It's just like the screen. Anyway, we're going to get those fixed. This is the book for tomorrow. Look at how I've torn it apart because I read it and loved it so much. Lots of dog ears. It was such a good book. And I don't think we've reviewed it yet. So this is this week's. But I got to tell you, if you are a business owner or you have a desire to be a business owner, you need to be a part of this conversation. Here we go. All right. See you tomorrow. Until then, I hope you will stress less, do more, and be happier.